Right now, as you are watching this, a massive wall of Atlantic moisture is pushing across the United Kingdom, and most people have absolutely no idea what is about to hit their city tonight. The Met Office has just issued a yellow weather warning covering the entire country, and here is the shocking part. Some areas could see temperatures crash to 0 degrees Celsius, with snow falling before midnight. But other areas, they will stay surprisingly mild at 11 degrees. The question is, which side of that divide are you on? Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes, I am going to break down exactly what is heading your way, city by city, hour by hour, so you know precisely when the worst will hit and when it will finally pass. Now, before we dive into the city-by-city breakdown, let me give you something right away. If you are in the south of England tonight, your window of heaviest rain is between 7 and 10 in the evening. If you need to drive, go before 7 or after 10. That one piece of information alone could save you a miserable journey. But if you are in Scotland, your timeline is completely different, and I will get to that in a moment, because what is heading for Edinburgh and Aberdeen tonight is a different beast entirely. Here is what makes this evening so unusual for February. Minimum temperatures across the south are hovering around 7 degrees Celsius. That is remarkably mild. In a normal February, you would expect 3 or 4 degrees. So why is it so warm? A massive flow of moist Atlantic air is streaming across the country, and that warmth comes with a price. Persistent, relentless rain, the kind that does not hammer down dramatically but quietly soaks through every layer you are wearing before you even realize it. And here is a number that should grab your attention. Some areas in central and northern England could see over 20 millimeters of rainfall in just a few hours tonight. That is enough to overwhelm drainage systems and cause localized flooding on roads. Let us start in London. If you are in the capital this evening, temperatures will sit between 8 and 11 degrees Celsius. Early evening will be the mildest, around 11 degrees, then a gradual slide down to 8 degrees by the late hours. Drizzle will come and go all evening, not heavy enough to cancel your plans, but persistent enough to ruin your hair and dampen your spirits. Visibility is actually reasonable, so if you are driving, you will be fine, but watch out for slippery roads. The real nuisance in London tonight is not the rain itself, it is the combination of damp air and just enough wind to make that 8 degrees feel more like 5. Grab a waterproof coat. You will thank me later. Now here is where things start to shift. Moving north to Birmingham, England, our second largest city, temperatures drop slightly to between 7 and 10 degrees Celsius. Still mild for February, but the humidity tonight will make it feel considerably colder than the thermometer suggests. And if you are walking through the city centre, pay attention around the Bullring and New Street area. Those tall buildings create a wind tunnel effect that can hit you with sudden, strong gusts you were not expecting. It is one of those details that catches people off guard every single time. But do not skip ahead just yet, because the real story tonight is what happens when we cross into the north of England. And I promise you the contrast is dramatic. Stay with me for that. Manchester. This is where the yellow warning really starts to bite, and this is the section you need to pay close attention to if you are anywhere in the northwest. Persistent rain with bursts of heavy downpours, especially between 8 and 11 in the evening. Let me repeat that. 8 to 11 is your peak danger window in Manchester. Before 8, you will get steady drizzle. After 11, the heaviest pulses should start easing. But during those 3 hours, expect the kind of rainfall that turns roads into rivers within minutes. Temperatures only 6 to 9 degrees Celsius, and when you combine that with wind and the sheer volume of water coming down, it feels genuinely cold. Your body loses heat faster when it is wet, so even 9 degrees can feel like 4 or 5 if you are soaked through. If you are heading to Old Trafford or the Etihad Stadium tonight for the football, bring proper waterproofs, not just a hoodie, proper waterproofs. The Premier League pitches will be slippery and the ball will behave unpredictably on that wet surface. So expect a scrappy, physical match rather than a beautiful passing game. The motorways around Manchester will have reduced visibility during the heaviest bursts, so if you are on the M60 or M62, slow down and leave extra space. Aquaplaning is a real risk tonight. That is when your tyres lose contact with the road surface because of standing water, and it only takes a split second to lose control. Keep both hands on the wheel and avoid sudden lane changes. Liverpool, sitting right on the coast, gets a double hit tonight. The same persistent rain as Manchester, but add in strong Atlantic winds rolling straight off the Irish Sea. Temperatures 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, but that wind chill around the Albert Dock area will cut right through you. Mid-evening is when Liverpool sees its heaviest showers, roughly between 8:30 and 10:30. If you live near the coast, be prepared for higher than normal waves. This is not a night for a romantic waterfront stroll. Leeds, up in the hills, faces its own unique challenge. 6 to 9 degrees Celsius with alternating drizzle and showers. But here is the twist that most forecasts will not tell you. The higher areas around Western Leeds near the Pennines could see sleet mixing in with the rain towards late evening, possibly around 11 or midnight. If you are in those suburbs, do not be surprised to see a white tinge on your car windscreen when you wake up tomorrow morning. Now, I told you earlier that Scotland is facing something completely different tonight, and this is where I deliver on that promise. What is happening north of the border is not just colder weather. It is a fundamentally different weather event. Edinburgh, Scotland's capital, will see temperatures plunge to between 2 and 5 degrees Celsius tonight. Let that sink in for a moment. That is a staggering 6 to 7 degrees colder than London, and they are in the same country on the same evening. The cold starts setting in from around 6 in the evening, and by 9, you will feel the full force of it. Rain in Edinburgh will begin turning to sleet around 8:30, and by 10, higher ground like Arthur's Seat and Calton Hill could see proper snowfall settling on the ground. The historic cobbled streets of the Royal Mile will become treacherous. Those smooth stones turn into an ice rink when wet and cold. If you are going out in Edinburgh tonight, I am talking multiple layers, woolen hat, scarf, gloves, proper winter boots with good grip. This is not a drill. The North Sea wind will make that 2 degrees feel well below freezing, and frostbite on exposed skin becomes a genuine concern if you are out for extended periods. Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, 2 to 6 degrees Celsius with rain turning to sleet throughout the evening. The west of Scotland always catches more moisture from the Atlantic, and tonight that moisture meets freezing temperatures. The result? Suburbs and higher ground around Glasgow will almost certainly see snowfall. The heaviest snow is expected after 10 in the evening, so if you need to make any journeys, do them early. And then there is Aberdeen. This is the city I have been building up to because Aberdeen tonight faces the harshest conditions of any major city in the United Kingdom. Temperatures just 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. Snow is highly likely. Fierce North Sea winds will create a wind chill that makes it feel genuinely dangerous to be outside for extended periods. Snow may accumulate on road surfaces and driving conditions could become treacherous. If you are in Aberdeen tonight, my honest advice is this. Unless you absolutely must go out, stay home. And if you must drive, make sure you have winter tires fitted and drive as if every surface is ice, because by midnight, some of them will be. Inverness, the gateway to the Highlands, will see temperatures from 0 to 3 degrees Celsius, dropping below freezing in the late hours. Heavy snowfall is virtually guaranteed in the mountains around Inverness, including the areas near Loch Ness. This is full-blown Highland winter weather, beautiful to look at through a window, miserable to be caught out in. Do not forget this key point. The divide between southern England and Scotland tonight is enormous. If you are phoning relatives in different parts of the country, you could literally be describing 2 completely different seasons. Let me circle back now to some cities I have not covered yet, because every region matters. Newcastle upon Tyne, 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. The rain is lighter than Manchester, but those North Sea winds are brutal. The areas along the River Tyne will feel the worst of it. Bristol, a pleasant surprise, 8 to 11 degrees Celsius, similar to London, with only intermittent drizzle. If you are near the Clifton Suspension Bridge, expect stronger gusts through the Avon Gorge, but overall, Bristol has one of the more comfortable evenings ahead. Cardiff, the Welsh capital, 8 to 10 degrees Celsius with persistent drizzle. Cardiff Bay will be windier due to the Bristol Channel, but nothing too severe. Sheffield, 5 to 8 degrees Celsius, and here is the critical detail. Areas west of Sheffield near the Peak District could see sleet or even snow in the late evening as temperatures fall. That puts Sheffield right on the dividing line between rain and snow tonight. Nottingham, 6 to 9 degrees with persistent rain that gets heavier around mid-evening. The area around Sherwood Forest to the north sees even more rainfall due to the wooded terrain trapping moisture. So if you are in that part of Nottinghamshire, expect the ground to be completely waterlogged by morning. Southampton and Brighton on the south coast, both a mild 8 to 11 degrees, but sea breezes will be stronger than usual. If you are planning to take the ferry from Southampton to the Isle of Wight tonight, check conditions first. The sea will be choppier than normal. Brighton's famous Pebble Beach is definitely not the place to be this evening, but the seafront cafes and restaurants are perfect for watching the weather roll in from behind a warm window. Oxford and Cambridge, 7 to 10 degrees with steady drizzle, a classic damp winter evening for the university cities. Students working late in the libraries, remember to grab your waterproofs before heading home. Those beautiful college gardens are waterlogged mud traps right now. Plymouth in Devon, mild at 8 to 11 degrees, but facing directly into the Atlantic, so winds here will be among the strongest in the country tonight. Heavy showers are possible at any time, particularly around the Hoe and the harbour area. And Exeter, slightly further inland, gets some shelter from the worst of those Atlantic winds, 7 to 10 degrees with persistent drizzle. Typical southwest England winter weather, mild but relentlessly damp. Now here is what everyone wants to know. When does this end? This entire weather system is expected to push away from the United Kingdom tomorrow, Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, you should see the rain easing off across most regions and some brighter spells breaking through. However, and this is important, as the rain clears, colder air from the north will follow behind it. So while Saturday will be drier, it may actually feel colder than tonight in some areas. Sunday brings a mix of scattered showers and sunny intervals, a proper transitional weekend. Let me give you the key timing summary one more time, because this is the information that will actually help you tonight. Southern England, heaviest rain between 7 and 10 in the evening, easing after that. Central and Northern England, the worst hits between 8 and 11, with the possibility of sleet in higher areas after midnight. Scotland, conditions deteriorate from early evening onwards, with snow likely after 10, and the worst conditions between 11 and 2 in the morning. By Saturday midday, the whole system should be clearing eastward. For those of you driving tonight, remember these 3 things. Slow down on wet roads. Double your normal following distance. And if you hit standing water, do not slam the brakes, ease off the accelerator and steer straight. That simple advice could prevent an accident tonight. Public transport, trains and buses are expected to run normally with only minor delays. Flights from Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester and Edinburgh should not be significantly disrupted, but always check your flight status before heading to the airport. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from tonight, your city, your town, your village, and I will make sure the next forecast covers your area in even more detail. The more specific you are, the more I can help. And if you found this useful, let others in your area know, because the people who need this information most are the ones heading out tonight without checking the forecast. One more thing before you go. Tomorrow's forecast is going to be critical because that colder air moving in behind this system could bring a sharp frost to many areas by Sunday morning. We are talking about temperatures potentially dropping to -2 or -3 degrees Celsius in parts of Scotland and northern England overnight into Sunday. If you have vulnerable plants in the garden, outdoor pipes that are not lagged, or elderly neighbours who might need a check-in, tomorrow's update will tell you exactly what to prepare for and when the coldest hours will strike. I have already seen the early data, and there is one region that could face a nasty surprise that nobody is talking about yet. Make sure you do not miss it. Stay warm, stay dry, stay safe tonight, United Kingdom. Whether you are sheltering from drizzle in London or battling snow in Aberdeen, look after yourselves and look after each other. I will see you tomorrow with the full week.